Jim, no matter what you say, I don't know why you find the new Victoria's Secret ad funny. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jimmy here for Drink a Beer and Play a Game. And we have another bonus beer episode with our good buddy Jim. Stop checking your phone.
I have to see what I am being brought into. Because I think I know what it is.
Our buddy
Adidas?
Nerdy Nick.
No, it's not Adidas.
Jim, you actually tweeted about it.
Did I?
You sure did, Jim.
I don't fucking know at this point. Whatever, it probably was funny. I probably did think it was funny. Make it canceled now.
You probably shouldn't say that part.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What am I
Fucking up my
agreeing to?
intro, Jim.
What up, Nick? How's it going?
Whoa, woo! What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Oh, no, this
Jim
isn't the
and-
Down syndrome girl, is it?
Damn it, Jim. Yup.
Oh, fuck. She's a lovely girl.
And this is where I'm just going to loop back to, I probably did think it was funny by Jim.
Oh,
Oh, what is going on, everyone who is supporting us on Patreon? Thank you so much. This bonus beer episode is for you. We got an interesting one we're going to get to today. Jim, why don't you explain to people, what movie are we going to be talking about a little bit later?
Ryan, we are going to be talking about the new cinematic masterpiece in the Resident Evil universe with Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, dear God.
It's Resident Evil : Welcome to Raccoon City.
Speaking of colon, Nick has 5 hot sauces in front of him and a giant-ass burrito and a couple beers. So
1,
I respect it.
a 2, a 3. All right.
I like that you went all over the place. You got Sriracha, Valencia, I saw, or Valentina's, what is it? And then the other one, I don't know what the other one was. 'Cause
This
don't
one I think
we
is
had that.
local.
Yeah, I never seen that one before.
Yeah, it's called La Calica. It says original, but it has like a spicy meter on the side, like a thermostat, and it says extra picante or extra hot.
So yeah, you're definitely, if you're using that, gonna
Oh,
shit
this is
yourself
from
tonight.
this is from the state under me in Mexico. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna try that one tonight.
So Chambers, while Nick is enjoying that burrito, what do you got beer wise tonight?
I am just clearing out a fuckload of Super Bowl Coors Lights from my mini fridge. So I need to clear some space. And you know what? I could use something light and refreshing because I ate like 3/4 of a chicken pot pie tonight. So I don't think a heavy beer would
Now-
be sitting too heavy. Pretty.
Now let me ask you this: why in God's name do you just not finish that chicken pot pie? If you're gonna go that far, why do you stop?
Bride, that's called me eating the rest of the chicken pot pie and my wife having a quarter of it.
Oh,
Are we talking like a regular pie size or like a little personal one?
Oh no, pie sized. She made a full on pie. And I went, oh, this shit's good. And I just kept going and going and going.
oh, Chambers.
Forget the kid. Forget the wife.
Just Jim's eating 3/4 of a chicken pot pie.
Babe, you're putting the kid to bed. I have some me time.
Yeah, I am also going light tonight because I had fun food poisoning from Chipotle, and yeah, it was sad because that's the first time I've ever gotten sick from there. But I'm sticking with the Wexford Irish style cream ale. So about 2 years ago, I covered almost every Irish beer I could find. Seems to be a new one that's at beer stores around me. If you've ever had any type of cream ale, they're very much, think like a lighter, not chocolatey version of a Guinness. And if you guys like nitro shit, that means it's just like super foamy, creamy, serves better. It's only 5%, so it's lighter than most of the beers I drink on this channel. I figured this would be an easy one to get me back into drinking. What do you got tonight, Nick?
Tonight, keeping with the theme of clown shoes, I have Undead Party Crasher. It's an American Imperial Stout coming in at 9%. This beer is so dark you can't see through it. And I mean,
Oh, hello.
yeah, this sucker is darker than my takes on this movie.
What do you think, though? I know you've only had a couple sips, but first impressions. You like? Because like I said, I've had it before. I do like it, but I want to see your take.
I like it, but it does not go with my dinner.
I was gonna say, yeah, spicy burrito with a stout. That's
Yeah. You know, that's just that's That is fucking Hick Nick, baby. Woo!
He planned poorly.
So yeah, before we drag this movie through the garbage, Jim, I know we got 2 questions tonight, and remember everyone who is following, obviously we will put it on Twitter when we're going to do it. We know you already give us questions for our regular weekly episodes, but be sure to get your questions in for this one too, because we got Nick here, and he wants to answer along with us. So what do we got this week, Jim?
First up from JD Mains. Which games have you mastered such that you can beat it while shit-face hammered? Mine is Super Punch-Out. God damn. I almost can't lose, and it's a go-to when I'm wasted. I need to be hammered to have any challenge in it. Yeah, Mr. Show-Off over here.
Ooh. Shit-faced and can beat it. I mean, any Call of Duty going against Jim, I could smoke him still. I mean, the obvious ones. I mean, I'd say the obvious ones, like Silver Surfer, Dark Souls 2 and 3. Those are the easy games, so those are the ones I beat when I'm drunk.
Yeah, okay.
Jim, prove me wrong.
I'm very sure. Prove it right now. We'll pause the show. I'll save it until 1 in the morning out of spite.
I'm not shit-faced.
Oh, wait, fine. Start drinking, pussy.
Jim, what would you do if I did play it and I just beat Silver Surfer in 1cc? Do you do the truffle shuffle?
I would not do the truffle shuffle. But I would be impressed.
He would have
give
2
you
corn
momentary
sodas.
Oh, the corn soda.
Yeah, well, if anyone watching this bonus episode, you more than have access to that episode. So make sure to check out Brian and I's lovely little adventure with some deliciously, well, not deliciously flavored sodas. So corn and ranch dressing.
I've said this before. I don't know. Have you guys ever played a game and for one reason or other, maybe you're talking on the phone, you're talking to somebody else, you have music playing, you turn down the volume, and a game like Call of Duty or I think like PUBG, where you think you need a sound, all of a sudden I've played better. And there's definitely been times where I've been drunk and I have actually played better because I just don't care as much.
Yeah, you play like more loosey and then like you actually wind up doing better. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my best answer I can give. Or like some of the Call of Duties. But I don't know, have you guys ever done that? Or Nick, I guess first. What about you? When you're drunk, what game do you think you could still smash?
Well, to the reverse of what you said, I will mute the game or the game's music, no matter like typically with like Halo or first-person shooters, and then play like my own music, like except Doom. I don't fuck with Doom.
Oh, Doom is yeah.
Oh yeah, they did the hard work for you.
Yeah, exactly. As far as like drunken mastery goes, a couple of games come to mind, and they're both under the same franchise. So the first one would be Pokemon Puzzle League. For some reason or another,
nice.
Yeah, my brain turns on. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And then the other one is Pokemon Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like my drunken curiosity all of a sudden expands my mind, and I can gather like the best 6 Pokemon team and pair off. I don't know. I'm just kind of like a fucking wizard when it comes to that.
Nice.
Dude, fucking
what about
I forget
Chambers?
I forget which of the Elite Four in Pokemon Stadium, but one of them has a Charizard, and he uses Fire Spin or Fire Whip or Fire Spin, whatever the one can like trap you in like that fire circle. Mm-hmm. And like every fucking time he would just like keep just like slowly inch by inch like killing me, and I'd be sitting there for like a half hour going, just let me break out of it one fucking time.
Yeah, that would be Blaine.
That was Blaine. You're right.
Yep.
Fuck you, Blaine. All these years later, I'm still bitter. But and actually, we need to set up whenever we can get a convention together going with you going against G to the Next Level's wife, because apparently she's like a master level player of what do you call it? Pokemon Puzzle League. Like she wins tournaments at like this one game convention. So we need to get you blackout, like can't remember your games wrong.
Weekend at Bernie style, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to get you like idiot savant level to like go up against her and see you can actually take this down.
Nice.
But you know what do you call it? Like as far as like a game I could probably play drunk, like I could get through like obviously I talk about Star Fox enough. Like I've played that so many goddamn times. But my favorite one to pop in when drunk for whatever reason is the original Mortal Kombat on Genesis. Like For whatever it is, whenever I'm like super hammered, like I just want to play the old school Mortal Kombat, for as janky as it is.
But are you good at it?
Yeah, I mean I beat it. I'm not amazing at it, but like I'll beat it.
I mean, you gotta be good to go through those endurance rounds.
The endurance rounds are a bitch. I think because like I get less frustrated when I'm that drunk. I'm just like, ah, fuck you. Then I just try again.
I was gonna say, Jim, you seem to get more frustrated when you get drunk.
It
You get
depends,
more
Brian.
belligerent.
Depends on the drunk. There's belligerent Jimmy. There's overly happy Jimmy. There's no calm Jimmy.
That happy Jimmy died years ago. Come on, there's no more happy Jimmy.
This is true. It's either embarrassing for this reason or embarrassing for this reason. It's a yin and a yang, and neither one's good.
Happy Jimmy died the day he was born.
Not wrong.
Yeah, like I said, it is an interesting experience though. Getting drunk, it does lower your like. I don't even know the right word, but like you don't care. You are taking it like a little less serious, and maybe because you're not so hyper focused, it does allow you to be better in competitive games. Maybe because you don't care as much. But that'd be an interesting test, is to really get fucked up and then try some of these.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like the perfect drunk game is Mario Party because you don't have to be that good at any game in particular, but like you can just sit there. I mean, obviously you're not gonna be playing by yourself, but you know, with whoever you're playing with, just get yourself shit faced hammered and still have like one button inputs and actually make a go at it and talk shit the whole time.
So yeah, this actually got my mind going because I remember there was a study done like in 2019 that are you better doing things when you're drunk like you think you are, and
Yeah.
it comes down to
Oh, I don't think I am.
your first 2 beers. You're good. It actually enhances you because it relaxes you. So it's like a fact.
Yeah,
Science, bitch.
It's like when UFC considered weed a performance enhancing drug because it dumbed your senses down.
Slows
See?
time down.
See, all the women of the world have 2 beers before you drive, and then you can be on our level. It'd be perfect.
Damn it, Jim!
Jim
Already
hates
with
women in
the-
gaming
Yeah,
and on the road.
and the opening here.
I had no say in that. This time.
You said enough after.
Under false pretenses.
No, thank
I would never
you,
say
JD.
such things in a public forum. How dare you?
Just look at our Twitter feed.
I didn't say anything on
private.
Twitter about it.
Oh, you sure did, Jim. That's why I brought it up.
Now I'm going to have to check the feed. I don't know. I do so much wheeling and dealing.
Thank you, JD, though. Great question, bud.
Yep. And next up from Alex Perez. What is your favorite part of content creation or being on YouTube?
Getting to meet
supposed to have
awesome
a
dudes
favorite?
like Nick.
Oh.
I mean, getting to talk to people.
Right, I
connect
thought we
with
said that was the
people.
worst part.
Damn it.
Fuck you, Jim. I'll break your neck like a goddamn glow stick.
Woo!
Woo woo!
As we said last episode, this all started as an excuse to get away from the girlfriends and wife to play games, drink beer. But like you said, now it's more interacting with people, and it's just fun to do, and it gives you almost a forced excuse to whatever your hobby is. So content creation could be whatever it is for you, but obviously for us, it's drinking beer and playing games. So it's just a fun, forced hobby that allows you to be a little more creative and meet some really interesting people. At least that's my take.
Yeah, and not to be like a dork, but like, what do you call it? Like, it is a cool way to like wheel and deal your way into like being able to talk to people who like you're a fan of, and then like to actually be able to talk to them, kind of deal, without being like awkward guy at a fucking like convention or something like that. Which
You're
I have
still
been.
awkward guy. Yeah, I was gonna say you still are.
I got around to that. It's not going to stop even people I've talked to on here. I'll still be way more awkward, but but it's still like cool to have like that kind of opening, and like you get to talk to a lot of different people, and like it's actually forced me to play games that I never would have ever touched like any other way and shit like that. So I don't know, it's cool. It's my only hobby left. I have no hobbies except for like this. So with this, if it isn't this, it's like the crippling grind of work and family. I mean, the great grind of work.
Such is life.
What about you, Nick?
I'm going to take a little different approach. I mean, I do agree with you guys, like meeting everyone at conventions. I mean, I think I pretty much pissed my pants when I had dinner with John Riggs, Metal Jesus, Drunken Master Paul, and Gamester81 for the first time. And then, cool story to that, it was at SoCal Retro Gaming Expo, which is happening this weekend at the Ontario, California Convention Center. I won't be able to make it up this year, unfortunately, but it was 2019, the last time they had done it before fucking, COVID ruined everything. I rode up with Gamester81, who is also an AZ native, and we met up with, like the hotshots, and we went and sat down and had some beers, and I didn't have one of Metal Jesus's challenge coins. And he looks at Master Paul, he looks at John Riggs, looks at Gamester81, and they're all like... And then he fucking pulls one out, bro, and fucking, here you go, this is yours. And I was like, what? it was surreal.
Yeah.
Like, just being going the transition of being a fan to being a creator, to being part of the whole thing is just amazing. Like, even doing this with you guys. I remember, if we're being quite honest, I've had so many drunken nights that I don't even know how I started listening to you guys, or maybe I just found you guys randomly on Twitter, but then, like, here we are now. Just being buds. Like, for fuck's sakes, you guys are invited to my short list of a wedding. And, there's all of this really cool community building, but then also, too, I love the creative side to everything, whether it be setting up a skit or the editing process. I know my videos don't necessarily show a whole lot of unique editing and green screen and whatnot. It's just because I'm still learning, 10 years fucking later, but here we are. Yeah.
It's always a learning process.
Oh, yeah.
It is cool to learn these little skills too. That like not just like I'm not a good video editor, but like the little bit of video editing I can do, it's like, 10 years ago if you said this, I'd be like, I'm not doing this fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I equate it to what I was saying earlier, that creative endeavor. Like Jim said, if we weren't doing this, we'd just be playing games or like doing whatever. Like you'd have no true creative outlet. And this is something that is, it's fun for that. I think everyone should have something, to get it out. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? Just always watch TV and play games and do nothing with it? So...
Go fucking golfing every Saturday morning? Fuck.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, it is cool too, just because like also you see your evolution before your eyes. You know what I mean? And you start to learn new skills with editing software, audio software, etc., and even then transition into streaming as well. Like it all just the entire development of everything is just really cool to see. Like looking at my first video, because on my channel started off as like a late night talk show, but for dudes. It was called The Daily Dude, and I filmed it in my in-laws' garage, and to see it go from that to me actually having a fucking real microphone, real camera, and real editing software and stuff, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's also a nice way to keep track of yourself, because you can watch these videos over time and be like, oh, here's me at my fattest, here's me at my skinniest. Oh, I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, I think my first video, I made a joke on Ray Rice,
oh, God.
and his elevator incident, and then also that was around the same time that Adrian Peterson beat his son with a tree limb, so...
What a year that was.
Yeah. I had note cards and everything that I read off of.
I had Ray Rice on my fantasy team that year. I got fucked hard by that.
Same, and then I picked up Adrian Peterson.
Here the other
Nick
funny
has an eye
thing
for
is
talent.
doing the podcast. Also, like, I've never had an issue public speaking, but it also has helped me even better, like, have flows of conversation at work and in personal life. Like, Jim has even gotten better. Jim was the ultimate in pregnant pauses.
It definitely helps with the, like, yes-anding people, like being able to keep a conversation going.
Yeah. And just talking to people, like, that is a skill that, for better or for worse, I don't want to be that dude that says it, but like, this generation of getting used to getting in front of people talking, it goes by the wayside. And
Right.
this is like a happy medium, especially when we're talking to people like you. Obviously, you can't be face to face all the time. You're in Arizona. But, you know, we're getting used to talking to folks on a regular, getting to know them and being able to relate. And you don't get that at all through Twitter because you can't really get tone. And when it's someone like, you know, half the shit posters out there, you can't tell sarcasm all the time. So this gets true intent. And you can really read people much better once you talk to enough people, and you can really see, like, okay, this person's going to be like this or that. So, yeah, I like doing it for that reason, too. So,
no, definitely. Because, like, it definitely forces you into, like, getting out of your comfort zone into, like, talking to more strangers. It's like, oh, man, I really want to talk to this person. It's like, wait, I've never talked to this person before. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all going cold talking to anyone we've had on the show. Like, you're going in cold. You're fine
like the
with
first couple guests we've had, like, it was like, oh man, talking to like someone new, this is weird. And then, like, you know, after a while, it's like, we're all just dickheads. You're just more successful than me, dicks.
Damn it, Jim.
What?
Jim, how do you really feel?
I love them all. They're all great people.
Hey, listen, you're at a point now where you have a successful Patreon that you're able to do a bonus beers show.
This is true. I gotta say, what do you call it? The fucking, you know, it's like that. It's a give and take with the Patreon, because it's like, I kind of think the Patreon killed the growth of like the channel in one sense, but we haven't had like the podcast is where we get more of like our, not to say hardcore followers, but like definitely the ones who keep up with like the most stuff and interact with the most stuff. So the most traction we've gotten on the Patreon or anything, just like general conversation, has been through the podcast. So it's a weird thing.
Yeah. Next, we just need to have Manscaped.
Yep. I bet we could probably just reach out and say, hey, we want to be sponsors.
My wife actually got me a Manscaped kit for Valentine's Day. So I guess that's an implication for me to shave my balls. So I guess, you know, if I can reach out and be like, hey, what do you call it? I'm an actual user without having been sponsored. So I
love the product. It doesn't chop my balls.
Yeah,
right.
Do it, Jim. Say we'll release a video of you getting trimmed up on our Patreon.
That'll be a special tier.
Oh.
That'll be a punishment tier for the patrons, not for me.
No, that'll be a Drink a Beer, Play a Game OnlyFans.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at Jim's face. He's already like, oh
Jim's
no.
getting red.
Oh no.
I am in massive credit card debt. I could use the extra money.
You know what,
Damn
dude?
it.
Like some of my tweets I put out there, I'm like, I'm literally staring at a wall all day painting it. I could probably make an OnlyFans and get the hell out of here.
Yeah. But hey, if OnlyFans has taught us one thing, we made a joke about it at the beginning of COVID, like how many OnlyFans accounts were going to get opened up. And that feels like anyone you know is just on there. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people I talked to that they're like, all of a sudden, like, oh, here's my only, like, you know, they'll make a tweet like, here's my OnlyFans. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Didn't we bring up OnlyFans another time in a podcast? I feel like
It might have been. I mean,
I think it was when you were on. Brian brought it in when the first time we were on Thought Cops. It's come up in conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It certainly
And hey,
has.
no, fuck it, make your money. I don't care.
Oh,
Like,
hey, I am 1,000% in support of it. I just, you know, if somebody's willing to pay it, do you.
That's
all
it.
I can say.
I am doing lewd Mario cosplay.
There you
Great,
go.
great, a new fetish.
Hey, look, I'm wearing the shirt too.
Wonderful.
Damn it, Jim. No, but that is an absolute great question, and that was from Alex, right?
Yeah, that was from Alex.
Awesome. Thank you, bud. And thank you once again to all of our patrons. And once again, get your questions in there. Obviously, if you're watching us, you're only in the $5 tier, but we will be releasing tweets every time we're about to do these new episodes. So make sure to get your questions in because, like I said, Nick, he loves to answer them.
Yes.
Damn right. Get the full Power Hour experience. Well, bonus beer experience.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck we call this.
All right, boys. So before we hop into this disaster, how are the beers treating you so far?
Right, no spoilers.
Jim, is it a spoiler at this point?
No spoilers. They are waiting on our hot takes on this 2-month-old movie.
Is it hot? I mean, before, like you said, before we get into it, Jim, there's no point. Coors Light is Coors Light.
I am feeling nice and hydrated.
Nick, what are your thoughts so far? Is it settling with the burrito very oddly?
It's
damn,
done.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I grab a beer, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. I feel like I need chapstick now. It gave me like dry lips, or maybe that was one of the hot sauces.
I was gonna say, because I would have thought it would have given you a sugary kind
Just
of
like grade school.
Yeah.
Damn
no,
it,
it did. It did go down pretty easily, actually. Like, I had my first sip and was kind of questioning it, but now I'm like, I could just have that for like the whole night and be fine.
Yeah.
I like it. It's got like a good caramel taste to it. I can definitely taste that. With clown shoes, though, I don't know. I always expect an average beer. Mm-hmm. You buy it for the flair, really.
Dude, the covers, they're the best
is
covers in
ridiculous.
the game.
Yeah. Next, since we're on beers, I'm going to go ahead and pop open this beer from Fire Truck Brewing Company, and they're actually local here in Tucson, Arizona. This one is called Salida del Sol. It's a Mexican-style amber coming in at 5.1% alcohol. It's brewed by firefighters. It's got 21 IBU, 5.1% alcohol, 14 SRM. I don't know what SRM means.
I don't know SRM either. Is that the SRM and beer? What the fuck is that?
Stupid Russian monsters. Topical.
Let me look it up. Standard reference method. It's a color assessment of
it's
wort or beer. So it's literally the color of the beer. So if hold it up, let me see if I can. What'd you say the SRM was?
14.
So that means it should be between a deep amber and an amber brown.
So I don't know. Is this a sin? Because like I'm putting the beer. In.
It's
Okay.
all right.
I've done worse.
Yeah, no, so that is the first time I've heard of a brewery putting the SRM. Like you said, it's literally a color gradient of the beer. Like, why would they need to tell you what the beer color is?
It's got a cool logo.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But the what the hell is that thing called? The Day of the Dead.
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
And the stash and the firefighter helmet. Let's see. Yeah, it's an amber, all right.
Mm-hmm. You know what? They're SRM. I think they're onto something. Looks like a 14 to me. I'm comparing it. So guys, I wanted to do a little game. So Jim, no looking at your phone. I mean, stop clashing. All right. So as we said at the beginning, we're going to be talking about Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
All right.
What do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes score is for this?
Oh, I was looking these up. I was going to do that as the intro. I didn't know how we were doing this one, but
damn it, Jim.
I don't remember it offhand though. But I think I would be too.
Well,
swayed,
so Nick, what would you guess? You can give the first tomato meter and then the audience.
The tomato meter, I would say maybe like 14.
Okay, and the audience?
The audience, maybe like 27.
All right, Chambers, tomato meter. I mean, you're probably going to be much closer since you saw it.
Yeah, I think I know.
You probably know it. All right, so
fair.
This one, they're 31% tomato meter, which is bad. It's not as bad
for it.
But the audience score is 66%.
What?
Which I gotta say, I don't. Here's my thing: is that maybe people that aren't Resident Evil fans at all? Because we said before we record this, our wives, our significant others, they watched this.
Bandmates.
They were pretty much all let down by it too.
Yeah, categorically, it's just it doesn't make sense because it's a bad movie. Was this like people inflating the scores to trick the studios and backers to make a sequel?
I don't know, but I mean, Jim, we'll let you at least rattle off. Give us the general story of what the movie's about, the plot, if you will, if you want to call it a plot.
Okay, and actually, before we get into that, I watched Angry Joe's video on it, and I haven't watched Angry Joe in fucking ages, but I watched his movie review on it, and like Other Joe and the other guy that's part of their page, they saw it in the theater, and according to them, like the crowd was kind of like eating it up. So I guess like people who aren't as invested in the series probably enjoyed it more. Weirdly, I don't know, because like. So the long story short of the movie is plot-wise, pardon me, is basically it combines the plots of Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 and like mishmashes them together into one movie. So you get the Spencer Mansion, you get going around Raccoon City, you get the escape. I mean, I guess spoilers, but I mean it's based directly on the stories from the games. So if you haven't played them by now, too fucking bad. So, it includes the whole escaping before the city gets, well, it didn't really get nuked this time. So we'll get into that, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole, you have Wesker's betrayal, it's like just a weird mishmash. So, yeah, so all right, fine. Quick TLDR.
Jim, do you want me to take over for you?
No, fuck you. Quick TLDR. So
What
do you
does
call it?
TLDR mean?
Too long, didn't read.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
just talk about the goddamn plot.
Right, so Chris and Claire Redfield, it starts off that they're in an orphanage in Raccoon City, and Dr. Birkin, runs it, weirdly enough. So you skip ahead a bunch of years, and Claire's coming back to Raccoon City to, kind of make amends with Chris to, kind of get back into his life for, reasons. And along the way, you get intertwined with Leon, who's the new rookie on the Raccoon City police force. And eventually, you meet, and Chris is already in Stars at this point, but he was, kind of promoted to it thanks to Birkin.
Hey, Jim, can I stop you there for a minute?
Yeah.
Because you already fucked up. So
How did I
Claire
fuck-
Claire
fucked up.
actually was coming back because she got warned that something was going on by the guy that was in jail. That's
yeah,
why
right.
she was coming back.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, she got warnings from the Who from Whoville.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a good way to put him. So yeah,
And-
and then from there, it kind of just, if you know the stories of Resident Evil, then it just devolves into there. With, the zombies, intertwining with the Spencer Mansion and the Raccoon City Police Department at, the exact same time until they all meet up on the train at the end and escape and all that shit. So.
Right.
Yeah. And as Jim already mentioned, it is a mishmash of 1 and 2 is the best way because they don't follow succinctly anything specific.
There's
they
no
just
Barry.
Well, we'll get to the cast in a second, but
Wouldn't it also be 3 though, because 2 and 3 took place at the same time?
well, the only reason
Yeah, but, no one
you
was there
can't
for
say
3, really.
3 is really because they don't have any of the characters and they don't obviously have Nemesis. So
Right.
I think it's they
Timeline-
really just
Nemesis or Tyrant or Mr. X.
Well,
Yeah.
then timeline-wise, they've completely screwed themselves. Mm-hmm. Especially since they were saying this movie was going to be the one for the fans to be, almost a 1-for-1 for the franchise and everything. And
Yeah, and real quick for the overalls of the movie, it was directed and written by Johannes Roberts, or whoever that is. So it's different than from like the whole Paul W.S. Anderson timeline it fills with Mila Jovovich. That's all out the window. So that's not canon for this. This is basically, as we said, based-ish directly on the first 2 games.
Paul
So it's a
W.S.
whole different
Anderson
animal.
was a producer, though, for this movie.
Was he?
He was an executive producer, yeah.
No, I'll be goddamned.
Yeah.
But
All right.
but here's the one general thing about the plot too, and as we're saying, why it's such a mishmash. They tried to do the fan service, but it felt like whoever wrote this said, "Here's my favorite scenes from the games. Somehow, let's make sure these things are," because they hit certain scenes almost to a T.
Oh, they hit a lot of fucking fan
Yeah.
service. There's a lot of shit in here.
Which is where I could see, if I was in a theater and really hyped and was willing to overlook everything, if I wanted to see the live action, the trucker eating the burger and having Claire in it, that's straight from the second game, and then the zombie
Itchy tasty.
turnaround. Yeah, so they did plenty of fan service, but I think where this movie got most of its criticism, and Jim, you and I talked about it a lot, was the cast and the choices being made and how the characters ended up.
Oof.
So, I mean,
I'm not fully eating crow because I was like, I don't think they look great, but hey, you don't know until you see the thing. Whereas you right away were just like, nah, it looks like shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's start with the lead, really, the one they made the lead, which is Claire in this case. You're going to hear me say this, and I want to hear both you guys, but the number one problem I had with her, like it's like they didn't know the characters. Claire in Resident Evil 2 is a college student coming back who like had some very low level basic like gun training from her brother. She comes in there like she's the spec ops person and is like saving everyone else and is like the leader of this like great discovery of everything. So they just for whatever reason they pushed that. Like, and I don't know the actress. I know her name is Kaya Scodelario. If she's in other things, maybe she has star power to her name. I don't know why they chose to make her the lead the way they did, but I don't know. What do you guys think of her?
I thought she was all right. Like, I didn't think she was, great in the role, but I didn't think she took away from anything. Like, she was one of the more least distracting elements as far as the cast goes. I'll say that, which is probably the best thing you can say for a lot of this movie.
I was gonna say that she's actually like so angsty, it's kind of almost unbearable.
All right.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, she's got that constant. Like I said, I think that's tied with like she knows all the answers. She knows everything that's going on. No one's listening to her quite yet, and she's got to fix it all herself. Which is once again, it's nothing to do with the character from the original game. So they took this weird approach with her. It was acted fine by her, but it was just in general. That was the most average acting, I'll say, of the cast.
Yeah, like I'll say this, like as far as like what the actors were actually given, like, hey, this is your script, this is the direction that your character is gonna go, da 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 da. No fault to the actors because they weren't the ones who wrote the story,
Yeah.
told what to do, so like separate the art from the artists or whatever, They did what they were paid to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't a lot because the budget was only $25 million, and for all the CGI in this movie, we'll get to that later. Is like I'm sure that chewed up a ton of it.
And it should be said, surprisingly, they almost doubled their budget. They made $41 million on it. So
It's also the most rented movie on Vudu up to this point. So it's got that to hold on its hat too.
Voodoo is still around?
Apparently.
Damn.
All right.
And welcome to Raccoon City's the fucking king of it.
So the next one, Jill by Hannah john-kamen. Right off the bat, why is she all of a sudden a kind of dopey Wesker whore who like can't get off his dick, is like so cocky and like, but yet useless at the same time? Like, I don't know. And that fucking line, it's a Jill sandwich. Like, you just had to put it in there somewhere, and it's at a diner when I hated the casting of her from the beginning. I said from the get-go, it doesn't look like her, which, hey, Jim tried to defend, looks don't matter. Didn't act like her, didn't seem
You
anything
could have
like her.
at least straightened her fucking hair. Like,
just,
you know what? Have her,
Yeah.
like, she's an English actress, and she probably has, some kind of mixed descent or whatever. Fine, I don't care. At least fucking straighten the hair and give her the bob. Make her kind of look somewhat like the character. Jesus.
do
Give
something.
her the fucking Special Forces hat, something.
Something.
Yeah, the hat could have covered up a lot of shit. Do something. Yeah.
She's not even the master of unlocking.
Exactly.
She didn't unlock shit.
Yeah, and Jim already said it, but I'll double down. Without Barry, like, as the first game, like, what the fuck are you? She was completely aggravating. Like, I hated how she was just so dumbfoundedly in love with Wesker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It was a weird choice to make too. Of like, you couldn't have
Yeah.
just introduced, like, even if you would have thrown us a bone and said Rebecca Chambers is in here, and that like a more throwaway character, but the main lead of Resident Evil, you're gonna say like, is just her. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
For-
she was barely support. Like, she got so much less screen time than
Yeah.
like all the characters that they just like even invented for the movie.
Who was the guy that was running around with Chris Redfield?
Fuck, what was his name?
He's a character in the games.
Was it
Vickers.
Vickers.
Yeah, Vickers almost got more lines than fucking
That's
children.
not Vickers. There's two guys that look like they could be brothers. One is Vickers, and he is the pilot. There's another guy.
Yeah, it's the guy who in the games he's the one who's eaten by birds on the balcony. Fucking
Yeah.
I can't remember his name though, but I know who
He
you're
got
talking
more
about,
screen time than Jill did.
Yeah, you're right.
And Jill is on the freaking cover
Yeah.
of the GameCube remake.
I mean, Jill is, for all intents and purposes, her and Chris, I always viewed them as equal when it come to, when I thought of Resident
Right.
Evil, I thought of Jill more, but then it solidified it because she was the lead of 3. Like you said, the HD remake, she's on the cover. It's
She's
so,
the lead in Revelations. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
They got that guy who got eaten by the birds, who's not even in 1. Is he in 1?
Yeah, he was the guy who's eaten by birds in 1.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
There's too many Resident Evil games.
Forrest. That was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't even have, like, Joseph Frost, who is literally a throwaway character in the opening cutscene.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, you're right.
they, for whatever reason, they treated Jill like a throwaway character, kind of like a dum-dum, and then they I feel they did the same thing to Chris with that Robert. Like, he got more screen time.
I think as far as casting goes, he was like the best casted one. As far as like looking like the character and like what you kind of expect.
That's about it. But like, as far as a character, I mean, dude was dull as a fucking doorknob. He was
Chris was kind of a dull character though. Like, he wasn't like Captain Charisma in the games.
Did he punch a boulder?
That wasn't until 5, Brian.
Well, this movie
had a lot
didn't
of
care
development.
about anything, Jim.
Yes, he goddamn did.
I mean, I accept that, but like, I also would have accepted. Once again, he's the he's like the elite of the team, and even him, like, he kind of seemed like almost inadequate in a lot of the situations.
Right.
Where I was like, okay, you're kind of dumbing the dude that's the elite dude down.
Mm-hmm.
But Brian, he used his lighter.
They had to throw that in there. And
Yeah.
then you got, speaking of fucking deviations, Wesker.
Oof.
Like, he's a literal, like, mid-20s frat boy or something. Like, he's a friggin' idiot. And then the big reveal.
And was he like Scottish or something?
I mean, I don't...
He's English. He's from England. Maybe these are all like English actors, I think.
Well, they probably... I mean, let's be real. A lot of these
Yeah, you know what?
actors-
They're all English actors, like from England.
Yeah, and they're all unknowns over here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Aside from, like, Robbie Amell, who is, Stephen...
Arrow's brother, right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Like, with Wesker, I don't get that... It's almost like they were trying to do this like an origin story with the cast. Like, if they would have said, like, this is the cast as they develop into the Stars team we know before the incidents of Raccoon, I could have accepted them. And they're all acting like complete rookies. Like, whereas in the game, Wesker's a leader. He's like the cool-headed, like, no, this guy's just a dope. And he's like just a jockey kind of like, ugh. And then at the end, like, he's just doing it. It seems like more for money. Like, it's just... They fucked all those main characters up so bad, and we didn't
like
even...
he was working for someone, but like it didn't seem like he was just working for like he wasn't like the Umbrella Plan or anything like it was in the game. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like he was working for a mole in Umbrella.
By the way, where the fuck are his sunglasses?
Well, Brian, they did that at the end.
Oh,
Post credits. Real quick, before we run through the entire cast, I know I told you guys about the show, but shout out to the actor who plays Vickers. He's on my favorite fucking comedy show ever, Letterkenny. It's on Hulu. Fucking watch it. It's like
I keep hearing about Letterkenny.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but Canadian. It's fucking amazing. And I was
So is it
really-
like if Always Sunny in Trailer Park Boys like had a baby, kind of?
yeah, with a little bit of King of the Hill.
Oh, okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right up my alley.
And I was really sad to watch him go.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, so Wesker...
Does he play Letter or Kenny?
Damn it, Jim. But they really so we know where they fucked up them, but the ultimate fuck up, the Leon Kennedy character, which take everything I've said about all the other characters, make them as dopey as you can, make their dialogue as dumb as you can, make them as unrelated to the characters as you can, both in appearance and in everything else, and almost be there for comedic relief. Like the fucking scene with the zombie walking in while he's listening to music, which I'm sure, I mean, we're not going to get to directly. Some people were weird about the soundtrack. I'm fine with a 90s theme soundtrack.
Yeah, it's based in 98.
But the dude was literally, he was there for comedic relief. Like, he didn't even know how to, like, operate a gun. Like, Claire's, like, teaching him how to use a gun. And
when it was like, the shotgun's jammed. It doesn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, he was a rookie police officer. But it's like, he wanted to be a cop.
He was a rookie. He wasn't a retard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck did they make him like this for? I really don't understand. Because he is...
Speaking of that fucking walk-in scene, so apparently shitty Sony's headphones from 1998 are soundproof and vibration-proof because a fucking oil tanker can explode 100 feet
don't
away
even
from
get me
you
started
and you
with
won't
that.
notice.
But I almost put that more to it's Leon being such a fuck up. Like, he's such a drunk. He's clearly probably like... He's just such a fuck up that he just would be that out of it at the job that he can't hear it on top of having headphones on.
Well, and even too in the movie, like they pretty much hint at he failed the academy, but the only reason he was given the job was because of his dad.
Yeah.
So technically, he's not even like a certified police officer.
Was it he failed the academy, or did he like have like a major fuck up at his other
Well,
job,
he shot
so
his
they booted him
partner
down
at
there?
the academy.
In the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would like expel you, but they were saying just because his dad's a higher up, he got the job.
So it's like all of our protagonists, and if you wanted to consider Wesker an antagonist, like they completely fucked. The only two actors I liked, and the last two we should bother mentioning, were
The two real actors in the movie.
Yeah, Brian Irons, Donald Logue,
Donald
Loge, who he was fine, and the character he's playing, he definitely overacted it just a little bit, but I was actually okay with that. I was like, he's gonna overact it. Chief Irons is weird, especially like in the remakes, he does some weird shit. I was actually fine with his performance. Like I was like,
Yeah, no, I thought he did a fine job.
yeah,
Dirty
Like
cop,
I know him
being
as a
paid.
dad from Grounded for Life, so like to see him as like, zombie cop, sergeant guy, like he did his job good.
Yeah.
him I was fine with, and honestly, except for
And Neil McDonough is good in everything
he does, he's always
Yeah.
good.
He's just got a horrible agent.
Yeah,
kind of does, yeah.
I
Neil
mean, he was
McDonough
in the-
is the classic. Oh, that guy.
Yep.
Like
I mean,
that's
he
what
was in
is.
the shitty Street Fighter movie too.
Yeah, he was in that. He was in some of the Hunger Games movies. He's been in like
he was in.
wonder
He's
if
been
he's
in
got
like he's been in a ton of those red box Bruce Willis movies. Like he just does anything.
I wonder if he's like got a thing for like hear me out. Don't know the guy, but maybe he likes Capcom games. I mean, Street Fighter, Resident Evil.
I mean, I think he's just basically another like this generation's. He is the character actor. Like he's Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America. He's in American Horror Story. He was in like I remember him from Minority Report. Like he is that guy that's just in movies.
He's just in everything. Yeah.
And the weird thing, whatever they decide to do with Birkin, why they had him running the orphanage, and then
Why do the orphanage story in general? Like they didn't need that. Like they invented it for the movie.
Well, this ties into the whole issue of, well, I'll save it, but
We'll save it for now. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that really sums up the cast. So like they might have gotten two. I would almost give Claire a pass, but I still don't want to because they fucked up what she was doing so much. So really, they got two of the main 6 or 7. Okay.
yeah.
Like, they totally fucked it otherwise. All right, guys. So now is going to be the hardest thing we're going to have to do. Tell me what you... I didn't say the smallest thing. I said the hardest thing.
Look, there's less surface area, which gives it more, strength.
That's not... Stop trying to use
That's not how physics
science and physics. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
F equals MA. I know things.
So,
equation.
back to the hardest thing. What did you guys like about the movie?
I like how it tried.
Tried what?
Tried to like I get the here's what I get from this movie. I get that it really tried to like be a love letter for the fans of Resident Evil. It wasn't done well, but I get the sense from it that they really tried to make a movie that Resident Evil fans were going to like. And, you know, it didn't happen. And, I don't know, it's nice to see Neil McDonough and Donald Loge get roles. So that's always nice to see. That's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I tap out.
As far as like what I liked, what'd you like, Brian?
This mind
so-
you, hold on. This, mind you, is, we have to say, Nick had to sit through this twice because the first time he saw it in theaters and walked out.
Correct.
So I can say to the things I was referencing earlier, where they tried to introduce very specific things from the game. I did like actually a lot of the zombies in the game. Like I liked the zombie turning around in the Spencer mansion. I liked the scene when they're in the mansion, the zombies finally come at them. I was like, oh, this finally feels a little bit like Resident Evil. And even in that scene with the lighter, as gimmicky as it was, it built like just a nice little bit of tension because you knew what was coming, but like you're like, oh shit, that was kind of a cool scene.
It was cool. It was also so stupid, but it was still kind of cool.
It was one of those like it's so obvious what's about to happen, but it's still it was like, oh, this is kind of a fun. Now it feels like a horror movie. You know, the little tidbits of like the itchy scratchy, like you said, they felt thrown in there oddly, but at the same time, okay, like they were trying to do elements of horror, and I was super excited for the Lisa Trevor angle, and then they completely shit the bed, and just like everything else we're saying in this movie,
That was so weird what they did with her.
why was she in it altogether? She was I've said one of the reasons why Remake is one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game. The addition of her made that game so much more creepy, and her character was creepy, and now she's just like this friend of Claire, and she's fighting lickers. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's a moment where it's like, you know, a lot of movies have this, where it's like the one bad guy helps you fight the other bad guy, but at the same time, you're like, why? Like, what was the purpose? So other than those tiny little segments of like, some of the horror looked okay with the zombies,
Yeah.
that's really where it ends for me. Like, I just... The set, you know what? I'll give the set pieces. The mansion, when
Right.
they walk in, look good. The police station looked good. The rest of the set was meh. It was fine. But the two big set pieces I cared about, okay, they made it look pretty much like it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and they gave you like the parking garage from the police department
Yeah.
and all that shit too.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the major set pieces and stuff they actually did.
If I had to say one thing, sorry, my daughter was walking under my light in the
that's fine.
electrical plug-in that could knock this whole giant lighting rig over. If I had to say like one thing that I actually liked from the movie, would probably be just, it's not saying much, but like the costume design.
Yeah, but the
You know-
costumes look pretty good.
It wasn't, like one for one. Jill really didn't have her like blue colors to her with the cool SWAT padding that.
Oh
she
no,
had in the
Joe
hat.
was a crime no matter what in this movie.
Yeah.
But everyone
Yeah.
else kind of looked like what they were supposed to.
Yeah, like if you were to show me Robbie Amell in his costume and be like, "This is Chris Redfield," I'd be like, "Cool."
Yeah, Leon,
if you-
except for neck up, he looked
yeah.
like Leon.
Took the words out of my mouth. And then Claire, I mean, passable for sure. Did the actress, like, her face look just like Claire's? No, but at the same time, the costume I felt like was like you would have to try so hard to fuck that up.
Yeah.
So I'll give this movie the costume design, and then, like as Brian said, the set pieces. When they show RPD, it looked really cool. Even in the interior, they showed you the fountain statue and everything. I really wish this movie had more of a budget to show you more of the RPD, more of the mansion, because as far as the mansion goes, we got like a stairwell in the entry, and then wherever the dining room that the helicopter crashed
Well, that
through.
was a fucking fake out because they were walking down the dog hallway, but the dogs never came through the windows. I was like, here come the dogs. Here
Well,
come
they
the dogs.
fucked up, and they
dogs never
fucked.
came.
Yeah, the layout was completely fucked in a lot of areas. Like where they did the stairwell was different. Like, I get it. They're not going to do the layout perfectly, but yeah, they missed the opportunity. Like, you did the dogs in the parking lot. You couldn't have done you picked so many moments to do. You couldn't do the jump
one
scare.
dog, Bri. They could only get mittens once.
Yeah, it was. Like I said that would be the tough part.
And I feel like that's where this movie falls short, is because of the budget. You know, like, if they had just stuck with the first game as the movie, like, we got no fucking zombie sharks. We got no giant snake.
Where's my mutant plant?
Yep.
Where are the spiders and the bees and shit like that? You know, that's what. Yeah.
Where's my hunters? My green hunters.
Yeah, but
Dude, I was waiting for a hunter.
We're talking about what we like. Let's stay on track.
Oh yeah.
Which I think we've basically concluded, which is a perfect.
That was a 3-minute segment.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect segment to, other than things we've already mentioned, what else didn't we like? I mean, the cast, we've said, terrible, for the most part.
Terrible.
The plot, the idea to bring 1 and 2 together and not explain the story well, that was pretty awful too. But
like, there were so many things that were like so obvious from a bad movie making standpoint. Like, I'm not the most astute critical eye for a movie in the world, but like, the scene when the helicopter crashed in, and when like Wesker and Jill were having the big reveal, and like she was pouring her heart out and shit like that. Like, that was obviously terrible green screen in the background as they were just both standing there as like the library was on fire. Or the scene where like Donald Loach's character, like when he was trying to escape the first time and he hit that blockade, and then he got blocked in by a car in the back, and then there's that shootout with like the SWAT guys, but then he immediately backs out again as if that car just disappeared. I was like, what the fuck happened to the car that backed him in? Like, little things like that. Like, there are so many just. And then, like I already talked about, the fucking tanker truck exploding 50 feet away from him in front of the door and him being oblivious. Like,
did you guys absolutely, by the way, hate that scene? The zombie walking in? Aside from the goofiness of Leon not recognizing it. Like,
I did not. Like, him being on fire. Like, I liked the visual, but I think putting the goofy music, like the goofy reference music behind it, like, killed it.
So you don't like the juxtaposition, like, and I know it's a very common thing, like that has become the cliche now.
Zack fucking Snyder has made it so every director thinks they have to do some kind of scene like that. You don't need to have a fucking scene like that, especially if you don't have the budget for it. Like, it's goofy and fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like,
that scene alone probably cost him like $10K.
And
like, just the guy walking in, like.
Who was
it?
In the fire suit, Jim, you or Nick would probably remember this, but I did remember like thinking the dialogue seemed really dumb. And there was like, which character was it? I can't remember, but there's like someone who just strung together like 4 fucks in a row. They're like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Fuck.
Oh,
was that Claire? Yeah. Who? Like, I can't remember who did that because it's been over a month at this point since I watched the movie. But I remember that, like, I laughed because I was like, who wrote this? And I knew they did that scene to be funny. But
now you know what? I don't think it was any of the main characters.
I'm gonna look this up because it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it was the trucker. The trucker was the one who just kept dropping fucks with all the stupid, like, what the fuck, fucking in, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was after he hit the zombie.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was the trucker. Yeah.
Okay. Like, they just seemed to, like, the dialogue just felt like someone literally, like, fresh out of college wrote it, like. And
it was so
high school, man.
Yeah,
and like Nick will appreciate this reference. Like, it's so like weirdly crass and out of place. Like, I don't care about cursing. Like, you listen to the podcast, you know how I talk. But like, it's like hearing someone like how AEW everyone would just say shit now because they did it once and got away with it. So now every promo is everyone saying like, shit 5 times. It's like, all right.
Yeah, or
Like, I
bitch.
get it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dialogue, like I said, that drove me nuts. The CGI, I can't think of any CGI I really liked in the movie. Like the liquors didn't look that like the design of
didn't
them were fine, but once they moved, it
Yeah.
literally reminded me of like late '90s, early 2000s CGI.
It's
Dude,
like
that-
like a movie for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly. And
The-
Well,
like,
dude, even with that bird that crashed into the diner window when it was like flailing on the ground and shit like that, like the
Yeah.
infected bird, I was like, oh my god, this looks terrible.
Well,
and
and-
especially
Yeah.
like the final Birkin fight when like he had like the red eyes of weakness, like a video game boss.
oh god. Well, and dude, oh man, I realized now, Jim, you actually brought it up. There was an early scene where Claire, I think like that first zombie that comes through when she shoots or something, the blood splatter was CGI.
Oh no, dude! Every blood splatter is you can tell every cheap movie these days because they use that same like After Effects blood splatter
Yeah.
effect that like
Yeah.
you can get on basic like Adobe Premiere or something like that. Like they spent no money on that.
Which, hey,
Like that is a red box movie level special effect right there.
Which here's the deal. I know
That's Sharknado. That's what
Yeah.
that is. Like
I fully understand that practical effects are more expensive. Like those blood squigs or whatever the fuck they're called.
the squibs. Yeah.
Squibs. Like they can't possibly cost that much. And it's like go that extra little bit to just fucking show
Yeah.
a blood splatter. That's it.
I mean, like,
Well, I mean,
Even-
then you got to pay for someone to be there, and then if you don't do that, then you get an Alec Baldwin situation. So
even the dog looked like it was ripped out of the PS1 game.
Yeah.
it really did. Yeah.
Like I know we talked about this before in another podcast. I think actually on the Power Hour, I had talked about how I like the smoothness of PS1 cutscene graphics, but
yeah.
like and how that dog in the commercial had just no texture to it, and that's it. It didn't improve at
didn't,
all because
no.
sometimes they'll upgrade stuff from the trailer and into the movie. It was the same shit. It was the same. The only
They
thing
could've-
that looked good was like the close up of the liquor before it leaped.
Yeah, that's why I said like the actual like stay still design I'm okay with. It's once you saw him move and then like the fight with Lisa like Lisa Trevor was legit, like someone in a costume. Looked good. A lot of the zombies.
Yep.
They weren't other than like actually the turnaround zombie, a lot of them were kind of very basic makeup, but they did the right thing, which was they don't focus on them for too long. They did
In a
enough
dark
like
hallway.
yeah, they did enough creepy like when they're at the gate and like trying to come through, they look creepy and like hair's falling out. Cool. But yeah, the Lisa Trevor looks cool, and then the liquor fighting her, you're like, oh, come on, man. Like
Let's talk about that scene for a second though, because there's something to say about it. The scene where the zombies are at the police at RPD, they're pushing on the gate. Are they zombies yet?
they're slowly
They're turning.
turning.
Yeah.
Because they're still communicating. Some are saying "help me," and some are giving each other weird looks and shit. Mm-hmm. And
But you know what? That's like a throwback to like reading the notes that were left around, where you could read stories
Yeah.
of how like people started to turn. So
right,
like, yeah, it wasn't like people just instantly turned. So
Okay.
I thought that was a cool touch. With
That
it.
which I once again that was I had no problem how they handled the zombies, other than like they could have just went that one extra step to say like, hey, I know they took that 5 seconds, like they've been putting something in the water and slowly poisoning the town, and they show like the waitress or whatever, like the blood coming out of her nose, and she's like, what the
it was
fuck?
her eye.
her eyeball.
Or her eyes, yeah, and
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it's been doing that for a while. It's whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, we have no doctors.
Yeah.
And like yeah, and like I said, the slow degeneration into what they were. Like I was fine with the zombies, how they were creating them, but like I said, why everything else the way they did? It's just like that's my biggest dislike is just the why.
I do have a giant complaint about the lack of zombies in this movie, though. We
Other-
only
yeah.
see 8 zombies in the first half of the movie.
Oh yeah, well you get that chick at that one that busted on Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one they hit.
The one they hit, and then eventually the trucker himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, the few outside of RPD. Yeah.
Yeah. You basically get, and then but then it's like going back to you're sticking to the games. There was like way too many zombies in that one area in the Spencer Mansion. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was like 100 of them.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's so many of them.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be like, here's the deal though. Like, if you're gonna be mixing 1 and 2 together, well, okay.
You want
This
the
is gonna be-
crocodile.
Well, that too, right? Yeah, of course. But they made. We're on the topic of things we dislike, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So they made Raccoon City Town, and they made Raccoon City Town Ghost Town. I mean, there was nothing vibrant. There was no like signs of life. They completely changed it to where it's almost kind of like social commentary, where they're like, only the rich could leave and the poor were stuck here. And that takes away so much from all of the games that were based in Raccoon City 1, 2, and 3, because even like the Outbreak games. I mean, in Outbreak, Raccoon City had a fucking zoo.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it is so bland. And like, yes, I get it. You know, you want to set up a bleak environment. You want it to be raining, nighttime, and everything. But there's so much lacking in that aspect of, you know, like almost every alley you run down. I'm trying to remember this right. Almost every alley you run down in like Resident Evil 3. There's zombies, at least like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when Claire jetted out of Chris's house, she was like, totally cool.
There's nobody.
There was no one in her way. You know, and like if like logically speaking, if people are getting poisoned by the tap water instead of like the shower water or whatever, like it's in the games, everyone would be turning at different points. So there would be like precursors to an outbreak, then the pre-outbreak, and then you've got the real outbreak. Everyone all of a sudden turns at the same time in this movie, which I thought was like stupid and like fucking hokey, and I don't know.
No,
that's a really good point.
My brain shuts off after that.
I didn't even think of the lack of like, you know, like how in 2, the famous opening where you're running through an actual city with high rises and going down back alleys and shit like that. Like, it looks like a real actual city, where this was like, you know, Podunk Town.
Yeah. Like, I mean, think about 3 when Jill's running through it too. Like, the bars, all the like Nixon, all those alleys. Like, that too. Like, they gave up. They gave us the police department. They gave us the train at the end. You couldn't give us like the cool like going through the buses and having them like those opening scene, going to Kendo's gun shop and like having them like
that is actually what I'm really pissed about. If you're gonna blend 1 and 2 together, Kendo's gun shop is like it's iconic. It was in all the commercials. I remember having a PS1 demo disc that showed off the game. You couldn't play it, but it was just like a preview or whatever, and it showed Kendo's gun shop and the gun owner, you know, pulling the gun and everything. Like I feel like as much fan service as there is in this movie, it's very like picked and chosen by the director, like what I want to see in the movie, not what you want to see, but what I want to see.
Yeah, which I mean ultimately begs the question. I think like we've all kind of said, but you know, the obvious issue of mixing 1 and 2 was the bigger issue. If they had stuck to 1, they could have given us every bit of fan service we want. That they tried, like Jim said, they tried, but it's like if you just give people a tiny bit, you're gonna leave them unsatisfied, and that's ultimately I think where the movie fails is they give you like these tidbits. Like you could have completely gotten rid of the orphanage, the Lisa Trevor angle.
Right.
And it would have made the movie, it wouldn't have made any difference in the movie. Like, they would have handled the liquors differently. They were just trying to tie this weird connection as if they needed more of a connection with Birkin. And
which was so unnecessary.
Like, what? Because at the end, like, it didn't matter. Like, it just...
Like, if you corner them with a big monster, they're still going to fight the monster. You don't need that, like, personal, like, oh, I raised you, Chris. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't need that.
Yeah, it just... yeah.
I mean, even still, like, the liquor didn't even show up in the police station. It showed up in the orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So...
And Lisa Trevor didn't show up in the mansion. She showed up at the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, you know, I mean...
Even... Oh, go ahead, Brian.
No. Go ahead, man.
Okay. What I was going to say is, like, we've got this new frame of reference with Welcome to Raccoon City. Looking back at the first two Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies, those almost seem more true to the game than this one does. I mean, as offshot as the first one was, where they go into the mansion, but then they go to the sub-levels, and it's this
They create a
office
hive.
and everything. Yeah. Resident Evil Apocalypse did a great... I'm going to say it. It did a great job at combining 2 and 3.
Yes. Yep.
Because you got the story of 2 with minus Leon, but you also got 3, and you got Nemesis, you got the Liquors, you got Jill in her actual third game attire.
Damn it, Tim.
And then what was I gonna say? Shit. Yeah, you've got Jill, you've got Nemesis, Liquor,
and the city looks great. Like, it's everything we were
It's
saying.
a
Like,
city!
the city is a full city.
It's a city. You see it getting nuked at the end. You know, you even get Carlos.
Yep.
You know, you get the Umbrella guys, the Umbrella mercenaries.
Yep.
You know, dope.
Those first three movies we
Speaking of the
said.
fucking nuke, the fucking end of this movie with the quote-unquote nuke. Like, it didn't even look like a nuke went off. It was like it got bombed like 2 or 3 times. Like,
It got hit with like a Moses bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just... Which, okay, so at this point, you know...
just steal the assets from the fucking GameCube game. They look better than the CG in here. You could have saved money that way.
Yeah,
You
I
had
mean,
the license.
even like Resident Evil Apocalypse opened up with almost the same cutscene as Resident Evil 3 did in the PS1 game.
Yeah.
It was almost literally like shot for shot. And then it gave you a better introduction to STARS and the members as Nemesis walked up to the STARS branch of RBD.
Yeah.
You had the sniper on the roof, you know, and all the
That was
the STARS members.
You had Mike Epps being hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
Dude.
He's always great in movies. But here's the deal. So, you know, we've said we don't like this movie. The Rotten Tomato, like, yeah, that weird 66%. Yeah, the story of people, like, apparently cheering. I'm just reading this now. So the director apparently stated that if a sequel were to be developed, he'd like to start with Resident Evil Code Veronica and then go on to 4. Like, so he just clearly doesn't like the 3 and the Nemesis. Like, what the fuck? And apparently he also said, oh, Resident Evil 7 and Village would be interesting too in the future. Like, so this guy, like, you know.
Slow your fucking roll. Don't even think about 7 or 8 right now.
He would cast a midget with no tits to be Lady Demerezet, whatever. Like, the way he's fucking casting these things. Jesus.
I mean,
This is just one producer?
no, this is the director, Johannes.
Oh, it's the director?
Roberts saying that. Because basically, I think everyone's asked, and all he said is that if a sequel were to develop, this is what he would like to do.
And I mean, this made money. Like, it didn't lose money, so there's a chance.
I mean, they set the bar so low, though.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
Here's the deal. This without
It would have
doubt,
made money going straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, this is going to roll into the final segment, which is our final thoughts. My biggest thing, it's not an original thought, but it's something that I think is very obvious. It may be cliche at this day and age for everything to turn into a show, but this, you should have made a show of it. The first season is the first game. The second season, second. Like, you take the time to develop it, because not everyone can do the Marvel approach and have 22, 24 movies, and not everything needs that many movies. But no it seems like no company, and probably for a good reason, because video game movies don't sell as much, no one's going to throw the correct amount of money to give us the effects and everything we want to get a well-told, like, 4 or 5 movie deal that can go through all the Resident Evils we truly want to see. So it's like, dude, go to Netflix. They get the right budget, do it right over a series, and, like, you can even combine 1, 2, and 3 over an entire season and still do it way better than this movie. Like, that's...
I mean, yeah, like, to that point, too, you could do, like, one episode be about what's going on with Leon and Claire, and then hop to Jill in 3, for example. Like, this is just something I thought off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, because there's so much fucking source material.
There's so much.
That's what bothers me so much, is about Resident Evil. Is there is so much source material. You got the books, you got the mangas, you got the comics, you got the games, but yet you feel like you have to make it original to your vision and stuff. When sometimes it's like, hey bud, look it. Like Rampage, perfect example with The Rock. People want to see big explosions, big kaiju. Let's do this, and let's keep it stupid simple. Let's stick relatively close to the source material. We're throwing in some human elements, and leave it at that. I mean, Rampage was one of the highest scored video game movies. I think it was the highest scored video game movie up to its release date. You know,
I think you're right.
You know what? Just attach Rock to the project and make him Wesker, and it'll get all the funding it needs.
You can make him Tyrant.
That'd
Give him no lines, and it'll still make tons of money.
Yeah.
You know, you can make Kevin Hart, Lady Dimitrescu, or whatever.
Exactly.
It'd make a lot of money.
No, what are you talking about? Kevin Hart.
Man, look at the size of my titties.
Kevin Hart could be in 4, and he could be Salazar.
That would be perfect, actually. That would be perfect.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean,
but you know what I'm
like I
saying?
said, for me, that's my easy final thought. The movie...
Christina Hendricks is Lady D.
Oh, yeah, naturally.
Who?
You don't know who Christina Hendricks is?
I'm going to pull my phone out.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy your night tonight.
You enjoy my casting.
But, you know, I was, as the most diehard fan of Resident Evil, I was...
Oh.
I was truly looking forward to this movie. I was really disappointed. They missed the mark by a mile in my book. And the saddest thing is, it's either going to keep churning out shitty movies because it was semi-profitable, or we now have to wait another however many years. I mean, I've just now come to the fact to accept we're probably not going to get a live-action Resident Evil that's going to satisfy what I want. And I'm going to have to accept the fact that the first 3 Paul Anderson movies are going to be the best things we're going to get live-action-wise.
For now, at least, yeah.
But what do you guys think? What's your final thoughts on this?
You go ahead, Jim.
You know, like, I went in thinking it was going to be absolute shit because that's what I heard. And it was really bad. But, like, I just kind of watched it and, like, I didn't care enough to even hate it as much as I should have. I just kind of watched it and I was like, yeah, that's the thing I watched. Like, that's really what I got from it. I was like, that's a thing. So, like, should you go out and watch it? No. Should you go out and rent it? No. Like, I pirated it. I didn't pay for it. So, I think I got my money's worth. So, there you go. It was a way to spend an hour and a half, I guess, if you have absolutely nothing else to do ever. Don't watch it.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Nick? Oh, you're on mute.
Was I not on mute before?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was directing my daughter to get me.
No, we didn't hear any of that. But yeah, no. So
yeah, no. It was just the last minute when you're. Yeah.
So okay. What's your final thought on it?
Yeah, I had to crack open another one for my final thought here. My final thought. Excuse me. My final thought here is the director and maybe producers try to do something that was... Do you guys hear something?
No, that was my beer. It's slowly opening.
Okay. Wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, so
Professionalism.
3, 2, 1, clap. My final thought here with this movie is the director probably had a genuine idea. Let's liken this to something that's very relevant. The Intellivision Amico. It started off as something that was a good idea. Something that was going to be for the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I am 98% confident that studios, producers, put their hands in, changed a lot of shit up, and turned it into something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this movie. I wish it didn't exist. I really don't, because all this does is damage the franchise in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loved to shit on the Paul W.S. Anderson films until this one came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started seeing videos and podcasts and different takes on Twitter going back and respecting Paul W.S. Anderson's view. And it's only until we've literally hit the bottom of the barrel that we appreciate the last eighth of it.
Yeah.
And this film, I feel, if it does get a sequel, it's going straight to DVD or it's going straight to Redbox.
No, yeah.
And
Straight to streaming.
It's gonna get recast. It's gonna get the lookalikes. It's this film already feels like a mockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember those? Like when Transformers came out, you'd go to Blockbuster. Transmorphers, Pacific Rim had Pacific Atlantic.
I saw Pacific Rim Job.
Damn it, yeah. I mean, no, you hit it on the head, Nick. And it's funny because as you were talking, I was like, let me relook up. What's sad is the original Resident Evil, their budget was $33 million. And granted, taking into account inflation,
that's 20 years ago money,
20
too.
years ago.
That's probably like 50-ish today.
But you look at how much bank they made across those movies, and my God, they made $1 bazillion across.
That's why we got 7 of them. They kept making movies.
I don't think any one of those movies didn't make a profit. Granted, they made boatloads in China.
Yeah.
But those films,
they got more profitable as they actually went on. Like that,
exactly.
The first one made $120 million, and that was the lowest grossing one. So,
and I'll say this too, as the Resident Evil Apocalypse, as true, it's probably the truest film out of all of them in regards to the games. That one looked the worst.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it aged the worst of all the films.
Yeah.
But okay, so that there's our final thoughts, but one important thing we forgot to do, and we can do it quick, but what are our grades for this? I mean, for me, I'm right at, for all the reasons we talked about, I'm probably at is D+ a real thing?
Yeah, it's how I got through college.
I mean, it's for the reasons of what it damaged, for everything else. I'm right at a C- or a D+. I'm right there. So I may have to go D+ just because it hurt me from what I really wanted the movie to be. So what about you, Jim?
I'll give it a C-. It's not good, but I still think it has at least a little bit of interest as a curiosity if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series. But yeah, outside of that, if you have no ties to Resident Evil, don't waste your time watching this. And if you do have ties to Resident Evil, just prepare for the worst. Mm-hmm. But all right, here's a quick question, Brian, before we get the next score.
Yeah.
You're the one who watched all the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. Mm-hmm. Would you rate this above any of the later ones, or would you still say this is bottom barrel?
I guess the later ones, the problem is I went into them knowing it's junk food movie. And as I said at the last podcast, I was fine with them. They're ridiculous. The plot is just, it's pure action. There's zero threat of horror. But I was okay with that. This presented itself like it's going to be a new turn in horror and stuff. So the letdown is so much larger that I honestly probably, when it comes to rewatching, I may be more apt to just turn my brain off and watch the Anderson movies because I know that they're just goofball. This one, every time I watch it, I don't think it's ever going to get better as I watch it. And
I'll never watch this one again.
and it's not actually meant to be a turn off your brain movie, like, because they do those little fan servicey things, and they try to tie in the game. So all I can ever do when I watch this from now is nitpick. So yeah, I'm probably always gonna like the Anderson movies better. As sad as it is to say that.
Even the Anderson movies had twists.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and they had naked Mia Jovovich in at least the first two.
Yeah.
yeah, and like even when they cast Ruby Rose, who was like a hot star at the time,
Yeah.
like they killed her off.
They had Ashanti too.
They
Fuck
sure
happened to
did.
her.
Yeah.
They killed Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
as far as my grade goes, and I know you guys are like the Resident Evil guys. You know, I'm giving this an F because
Understandable.
as soon as I heard the vision and they started leaking little photos of the set pieces, I was like, damn, this is okay. I'm bracing myself, but this is looking pretty good. And then they started they released the cast, and as soon as they released the cast,
Oh, dude.
I was like, well, okay. Maybe this is going to be a little SJW. Maybe this is going to be like, we're going to mix up the cast for inclusion or
Just
whatever.
because. Yep.
Just because, you know. I was like, okay.
That because was budget.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cheap actors out there that probably looked a lot closer to the characters, Jim.
Yeah, probably. I'm just going with this is probably the best I could get.
Yeah. And like, I'll be quick with this. I know we're running short on time here.
No, it's fine. I got to pee, but no.
Then I'm going to take my sweet ass time.
No, piss my pants. Again.
Jim, I've gone through like 4 beers already. Where you at, bro?
4.
I meant
4 Coors Lights.
I said beers, not waters.
Oh,
No. And anyways, what I was going to get at is like, little Nicky was not allowed to play M-rated games growing up. I even wrote my parents a persuasive essay on why they should let me play M-rated games when I was 10. You know, and that's, I think, another reason why I love Resident Evil so much is because I wrote that little persuasive essay in regards to letting me play Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was back in the day when I had a Blockbuster membership and I had the unlimited rentals a month, you know, one at a time. And I always saw the standee of Nemesis, you know, in Blockbuster. And I was like, I want to play this game. Please let me play this game.
yep.
You know, and when I finally got to start to play Resident Evil, it was when it was on like the GameCube and PS2. And ever since then, I've just fallen in love with the franchise. And I know I've never talked about it on my channel or anything, but I have a deep-rooted love for this franchise. My dad and I, for the first, I think, the first 2 movies, we went to see the day it released. And then
Nice.
I saw all of the other ones, at least the weekend it released. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I always hoped for the best, you know, prepared for the worst with those films. But looking back now, I'm like, damn, at least they were original. They tried to stick true with the games to a certain point, you know. But again, they included Alice as a new original character, kind of like the guy in the Mortal Kombat movies. And I hope they don't go that direction that Paul W.S. Anderson went. But it just, if you're gonna combine 1 and 2. There's a better way of doing it, you know, and you missed huge crucial parts like, you know, the sewer, you know, the snake, the shark. And I know I'm nitpicking here and the spiders and whatnot, but like, it just fell so flat. It literally felt like it should have been on Sci-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
It, you know, it felt so lifeless. And at the end of the day, it's almost like buying a bag of chips. you pay $5 for 60% air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
good way to put it.
And I mean, that's honestly why I walked out. It's
yeah.
just and to counter to Jim what he said, if you're a Resident Evil fan or if you're not a fan, don't watch it. I would say the opposite. If you are a Resident Evil fan, don't watch it because all it's going to do is let you down. No matter the fan service that's in it, it's going to let you down. Like for instance, when they wrote Itchy and Scratchy in the notebook, in the journal, in the game, a half zombie lady wrote it on a window. There's nothing ominous about it. There's nothing creepy about it. It's just like, oh,
You just did it because
it's shock value.
Reference
that she's writing in blood. Like if you're not a Resident Evil fan, watch it so then it can give you intrigue to something that will completely blow you away when you actually play it. And like I said, the Paul W.S. Anderson films, I think, steal the limelight from this one. I mean, look how many times
for sure.
Look how many times I've personally referenced those ones instead of in comparison to this one. It's just I'll take Alice over Jill, over Wesker, Leon in this new one any day.
And shit, I don't.
2 seconds of Ada.
I don't care what anyone says. That first movie gave us one of the best cinematic kills with that laser grid.
Oh yeah,
like that was such a lasting kill that dude.
I mean, and that movie set Umbrella up to be what was actually Umbrella. You know what I mean?
To be threatening. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, this is something way more than it actually is. I mean, I can't remember which one it was, but they showed like all the Umbrella guys in like a holographic meeting underground.
That was the fourth one, yeah.
Yeah, and like I thought that was really cool too, and there was another one where they actually brought Leon, Barry, and a couple other stars guys into the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. It was when they brought back Mila Jovovich's character as a clone. And
Well, they brought the clone back by like what, 3 or no? They introduced the clones in 2 or something. I think.
No, I think it was
they
like,
introduced it.
It was like it was either 4 or 5 because it was like an underground shootout in like the Arctic.
I do remember
hold that thought. I got to piss.
Hold on.
Yeah, like I was saying, Resident Evil Retribution had game accurate Leon, Barry, and other cast members.
Yeah.
That just did it way better, and like you'll never get a more game accurate version of Leon than in that movie. I mean, he had the leather jacket from 4, the same hairstyle. Barry wore the same colors, looked like Barry. I don't know. This movie, I'm sorry, it just gets an F. I know I ramble, but this movie gets an F. Paul W.S. Anderson, whether we want to admit it or not, did it better.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the deal. If you're watching, if you want to defend a movie, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear a good defense for this movie. I legit may go out and try and watch other reviews, see if somebody out there has defended it. Maybe we're missing something, but like I said, as 3 diehard Resident Evil fans, all from different reasons and whatever, it's pretty universal. We don't like
Parents
it.
wouldn't let me play it.
But yeah, no. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait for us to pick our next movie. But before we go, guys, I want to know, Jim, how was your water?
Made for a hell of a piss just now.
You were very hydrated.
I am extremely hydrated, overly hydrated.
Nick, so you hopped from heavy stout to that amber Mexican ale.
Right.
Which, how did you like that? Or was it a lager?
It was a amber. Yeah, Mexican style amber.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Then I hopped to this one called Cien. It's an Arizona Steam Ale. This is
a steam ale? Nice.
Yeah, I've never had one before. It was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie, it got a little warm sitting on the table. But It was pretty good. It's celebrating 100 years of the Arizona Farm Bureau. Arizona ingredients from Arizona farmers. It came in at 5.5 alcohol and 37 IBUs.
Nice. Yeah, that's
then-
one of the most well-known hybrid style beers.
Okay. And then I also am sipping on right now. It's from Oso Brewery and Distillery. This is a lemon raspberry popsicle blonde.
Ooh, so that's got to be nice and sugary and flavorful.
This is so good, and I can feel the hangover already. This is from Oso Brewery in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a golden lager with a lemon and raspberry flavor, coming in at 4.5% alcohol. And it has hashtag choose AZ brews. It's 1 pint. It is delicious. The label here, what you're looking at,
I like
is what
it.
it tastes
Nice
like.
and colorful.
It's what it tastes like. It is so good. I could sip this at the pool all day long.
Nice. Yeah, so I went through 2 of these Wexford Irish style cream ales, which once again, cream ales are, like you said, you're not going to be blown away with flavor. But if you're, for some reason, someone who doesn't like a Guinness and you want to drink something Irish, this is an easy, like, session style beer that just has a little bit of that, like, foamy thickness because of the nitro. Anytime you get nitro stouts or nitro drinks, that's what you're going to get, is a more heavier mouthfeel. But it doesn't sit heavy, which is nice. And then Jim's leftover Coors Light was here as well, so I had to get some water in me as too. So
Hydration.
yeah,
Is that a Costco pack?
yeah, I feel like that's where he got it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna
it was the old 30 pack of silver bullets. All right.
Are those 16-ounce cans?
12?
So yeah, these ones are
okay.
these are 16 ounces though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone, if you have been watching, once again, we truly appreciate you. We hope you enjoy these. And guys, we haven't picked it, so we can't even give a guess as to what our next movie's going to be. But, if you guys watching, if there's a movie you would like us to review in the future, you can always ask us.
Suggestions welcome.
Yeah, always give
Yeah.
us a suggestion. But
We could always watch Street Fighter from the 90s.
Please, that's a
I mean,
pleasure.
I've got the collector's edition, bro.
yeah,
I got the Blu-ray right over there.
you're trying to give us good stuff.
I mean, he just wants to look at Kylie Minogue's ass, and I mean, who can blame him?
Damn it. So once again, Nick, we always appreciate you coming on with us for these bonus episodes. And
Hell yeah.
to everyone who has watched, thank you once again. Have a good night, everyone. And cheers, guys.
Cheers.
all.